The first thing I really loved about the club was its community aspect. You know, coming from Green Bay, Wisconsin, you know, you're one of your original NFL community-based teams. It was something that I felt originally comfortable with. It was something that I kind of understood already, and then to park down at the end of Vicarage Road, walk up with the fans kind of lining the streets, and you can kind of feel you're a part of a community, but also something much bigger than that community, and that's the club. And I think that was kind of my first baptism of what Watford was all about. Well, I think the major differences in the stands has been the major one. The addition of the Sir Elton John stand over the last couple of years has really filled in the stadium. I think you know, there was 3 major stands here, but the fourth to finally fill it in to make it feel like home, let alone the gallery, which they filled in from the restaurant's perspective, and the sensory room, which I think is brilliant. All those types of things have really been a great addition to the stadium. The locker rooms, I think, have been a major improvement. You know, when I used to walk the team out, the Elton John stand didn't even really exist, and no one really was allowed to sit in it for a couple years there. So again, another major improvement in the right direction, and great to see Vicarage Road, the fortress that it once was and will continue to be. I think probably my career high was the playoff final. You know, 2006 was an incredible year. It was my second year as a professional, but to get in the team and stay in the team and then make it to a playoff final that no one at the beginning of the season really believed we could ever get there, let alone get promoted to the Premier League. And you know, I think that year especially was a special year, but to get to the playoff final, score the first goal, and walk away with the man of the match ball, I think has to be the #1 moment in a Watford shirt. Well, I think my low was probably the year after, when we went down from the Premier League. I got offered the captaincy to stay. It was one of those things where it got a little bit heavy for me. We had some injuries towards the middle of the season. We were almost tipped to go right back up. We were looking good at the beginning of the season. Injuries happened, goals dried up, and all of a sudden we were struggling. And I was trying to carry the weight of the world, trying to do too much because I was new to the captaincy. I didn't know really what I was doing at the time, and Jay DeMerit kind of sensed that, and he took it away. He was right. It was a little bit heavy for me. My performances weren't the greatest, and I was lacking in that. And you know, we limped into the playoffs, didn't make it. We lost to Hull in the first round, and unfortunately, that was the low point for me. But got the captaincy back the next season and carried on for the next couple of years. So, you know, as always, you know, the push-pull of the Watford Mighty is always a roller coaster, to say the least. But again, to be a part of these things is what football is all about. Well, I think the best part about game day atmospheres, of course, is the rookery end. You know, these are the guys that are making the most noise. From there, on the opposite of the stadium is the family end. So then you got a lot of kids and a lot of families and things like that also bring in a great game day atmosphere. From there, you bring in the Elton John side and the Graham Taylor side. You know, 2 legends of the club that really bring in this kind of hometown, but also very passionate community environment. And that's what I really believe what makes Watford unique. I try to get back to Vicarage Road as much as I can. You know, this is a stadium that I've grown to love over the years and been a huge part of. So, you know, anytime I can get back and engage with the fans, I try to do so, which generally brings me back, you know, every couple months. I try to get back to London and be a part of it and watch some games and still be a fan and do the things we're supposed to do from an ambassador perspective. So there's a lot of different reasons why I like to come to London, but certainly the club keeps me coming back for all the right reasons. I mean, what can you say about Elton John? You know, he's a guy that, you know, he really loves this club. And for someone that has actually known him now for 15 years, it's always nice to catch up and see what he's been up to, where he thinks the club is at. And I think anytime you get to be in the presence of somebody like that, it's special. And to be the captain of a team that, you know, that he loves, he appreciates you almost as much as you appreciate him. And I think I've always enjoyed that connection with Elton and what he brings to this organization. Well, what I like about the current squad is it's really got a good mix of everything. You know, you have your staple points, the old guard from the Deeneys to the Fosters to the Mariappas. You know, these are guys that bring leadership to the group. You get the new players like the Deulofeus, the Doucourés, the real engine room and the real high quality that brings it to the Premier League team. So I think you get a good mix of young and old, a good mix of talent that can certainly see you through a good season. What do I miss most about England? Sunday pubs.
Hey, click here for more video. Hey, click. Come on. Click. Come on, bro.